So all of 2020, we've had no San Diego Comic-Con, no New York Comic-Con. All the minor announcements are off. The movies are pushed back. Nobody knows what's going on. We're starving for information. And then Thanksgiving dinner happens. December 10th, we get engorged with an overabundance of information thanks to the Disney call and the information from DC. I'm going to try to break down some of it that may affect us, and we'll go through it. Stick around. So welcome back, everybody. Thank you again for joining. I remind you to like and subscribe to videos. I went through a lot of the stuff that they had during the Disney conference call streaming that they had for the investors for the 2020 on December 10th. And man, there's a lot of stuff there, and I'm still going through it, and I'm sure that you guys are going to pick up on stuff that I can. But the faster we get this information out to everybody, the faster we can make intelligent decisions on what to get, what to wait for, everything. So I'm going to run through stuff that I think may affect comic book purchases. So on this, I'm staying away from the Pixar stuff. I'm going to go through some of the Star Wars stuff that may have comic book releases, and of course through the stuff that's through the Marvel Universe. I appreciate you sticking around for this. I've got a lot of information here. I'm going to try to get through it as fast as I can. So we're going to start with Star Wars, okay? And as everybody kind of assumed, Ahsoka Tano looks like she's going to be getting. It's announced she has her own spin-off coming in during that time frame with Rosario Dawson. The more popularity of Ahsoka Tano, and we still don't know if they're going to do any kind of movies with her or anything, or with Grand Admiral Thrawn, or with Mandalore, or Bo-Katan, or Ezra Bridger and Sabine Wren. We don't know all this. What we do know is that Star Wars Clone Wars may be going up in value. This right now is going to peak again. This is not the time to get this book. If you've got it already, hold on to it. This is going to be doing a bunch of this, but it's going to be trending upward for a long time. But right now is not the time to get this book. Next one on here, I don't know anything really about this. It's called Rangers of the Republic. It's going to be a live action. It's in the same time frame as The Mandalorian. And the only thing I really saw in the description is that it's going to culminate in a climactic story event. So at the same time as The Mandalorian, 5 years after Endor, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be introducing any new characters. They probably will. Is this going to be where they're going to be bringing Palpatine back? Is Mandalorian and Grogu going to factor into this? I don't know. But I don't see anything here comic book wise. If I see anything, I'll keep you posted. Andor. Cassian Andor. Okay, this is going to be a 12-episode live action on Disney Plus. I didn't see a release date for it, but I went through several books that are already published that have Cassian Andor in it. From the release of the movie printing and little stories of Cassian Andor and C2, whatever the heck the robot's name. I'm sorry, I don't know. Nothing. I went through every one of the CGC slab books because I'd like to see what CGC recognizes as the first appearance. Hang on a second. Now, according to what I saw, there are 7 books, but none of them actually on the CGC label list first appearance Cassian Andor. I don't think this is enough of a character that people really cared. They didn't think this was going to be going out into something. I'm not sure which one is actually going to be. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean the first chronological appearance of Cassian Andor is going to be the one that everybody gravitates for. There are some Rogue One story 1 in 10, 1 in 25 variants. They're not too expensive. Even Slabs is a 9.8. I saw one that was 1 in 25 or 1 in 50 going for $150. If this TV series turns out to be something that's really good, it might be good. But remember, it's only going to be a 12 episode. It's not going to be season to season to season unless it makes a lot of money. And then, of course, I'll figure out a way to do it. But we're going to try to keep a close eye on this one. And as soon as we start to see movement, I'll try to let you guys know. Obi-Wan. Now, we all knew Obi-Wan was going to be live action. What we didn't know is that Hayden Christensen is going to be reprising his role as Darth Vader. I'm sorry, I'm not a Hayden Christensen fan. Every time I see him on the screen acting, I feel like I'm watching some really bad high school play. Anyway, what's interesting, though, is that this may cause an additional spike in Star Wars number 2. Okay, the original 1977 Star Wars number 2. Now, even though on Star Wars number 1, Obi-Wan appears on the cover, he does not have an interior appearance until Star Wars number 2. Which is also, by the way, the same first appearance as Han Solo, Chewbacca, the Millennium Falcon. A lot of great books out there. Number 1 has always gained all the attention. Number 2 may start moving on this, so this is something we're going to keep an eye on out for. It's already started to move a little bit, and remember, issues 1, 2, and 3 all had that 35-cent variant that is so rare. It's not just number 1. The Bad Batch. Okay, anybody that watched Bad Batch was in Clone Wars, the animated series. I love the Bad Batch, and the fact that they're coming out with their own their own stuff, I love it. The only problem is there are no comic books that have ever had the Bad Batch in it. The only thing that kind of qualifies is they did have a 320-page graphic novel, which encompassed the entire first 6 seasons, before Disney did the 7th, of the Clone Wars. 320 pages. It's a graphic novel. It's in comic book form. Even if they come out with another book, it's just like when you see some of the preview magazines that have the first appearance of Hellboy and Harley Quinn, and they go up in value. This may get value. So I'd look at it. I actually looked online. You can get it online through Target and Walmart for $20. So I'd take a look at this. You might want to. Otherwise, we're going to watch to see when Bad Batch gets their first comic book, because this may turn out to be something good. Lando, another TV series, and this one I believe is going to be a live action with somebody else other than Billy D. Williams, of course, playing Lando. I think that Lando is going to do very, very well. Now, the fun part about Lando, would you like to get his first appearance? Unfortunately, it's the same first appearance as Boba Fett. Star Wars number 42. So as if we don't have enough of a reason to already have that book going through the stratosphere, let's add another character. Lando's first appearance, IG-88's first appearance, I believe it's a cameo appearance of Yoda. Yeah, that's a crazy book, which is why, I have a 4.5 and I'm happy to have it, okay? Just because you just look at it and know what it is. Actually, wait, I have to check that. It might be Lando being in 43, because I know 43, he's on the cover. Boo, 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 boo. Let me pause and check that one for you. Okay, sorry about that. I did double check, and it is Star Wars number 43 is the first appearance of Lando Calrissian. Matter of fact, he is even on the cover. So that gets you a little bit of a break on the price if you're trying to get one. Anything Star Wars for a while has been going up. Anything with Empire Strikes Back and the first appearances of Yoda and Boba is in it. Just the whole genre itself has really gone up. If you want to get this, to me, this is a remember me. This is something, come back in 3 months, because there's so much stuff here for everybody to digest. They're going to be going after the stuff that's going to be coming out in early 2021 first. And even though people are going to be buying just about everything on here and driving up some of the prices, the great thing about this is going to get more of these books to CGC. So right now there might be, say, 10 9.8s, I don't know, and in 3 months there'll be 100 9.8s, because a lot of people will submit them trying to get them slabbed. At that point now there'll be more slab books on the market and less people trying to get them because they'll be moved on to something else. That's when it becomes a remember me. That's when I'm going to flag you. That's when I'm going to try to save you some money. Okay, so moving on. There was one other one that I don't really think it has anything to do with comic books, but I just wanted to say they're actually making a sequel to Willow. I didn't watch Willow in the first place. Okay, but this one is supposed to be decades later in the future. If there's money to be made and they can get a comic book adaptation, I'm sure they will, and I'm pretty sure that somebody made a Willow adaptation back in 1988. It's one of those books that I wouldn't have bought, but it is what it is. Moving on. Okay, we're going to start hitting Marvel. Okay, now the first one that I wanted to say, now this isn't any specific books, but WandaVision. We're getting closer. We got that second trailer. It looked great. I loved seeing, even for a moment, the Mind Stone. I didn't know if that was going to be a scene in where she's using her powers to put the Mind Stone back together. or try to recreate it, or if it's a flashback to Infinity War. Infinity War. Yeah, Infinity War. I don't know, but I just loved it. I love that they showed Monica Rambeau again, and they asked her, who are you? And she said, I don't know. Again, it's just a play off the Mind Stone. Is she like she doesn't have an answer because she's working for the government? We don't know these things, but all this is going to tie into the Multiverse of Madness. So, I don't know who is going to be. I mean, we all know about the lady that we think is going to be Agatha Harkness, the next door neighbor or whatever from the first trailer. She's now shown. It looks like she's talking with her husband behind her. I don't know who that's supposed to be. Is that Mephisto in camouflage, in human form? I don't know. We're going to have to find out. And but be ready to pull the trigger on some books if you need to. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This one's going to be debuting on March 19th, and they have confirmed that John Walker is going to be in that. First appearance is in Captain America 323, the U.S. agent. I believe this has already gone up quite a bit, and of course, with this news, it's going to shoot up again. March 19th is when it's going to drop, but if WandaVision drops in January, and it has the same 8 episodes, I'd wait for about episode 4 or 5. That's when everybody's going to be paying attention to WandaVision, and the Captain Americas are going to drop a little bit. So if you want to get on that boat, I'm going to try to make that my Remember Me the first or second week of February. Okay, again, mark this down in your books. First or second week of February, look up your Captain America 323. Loki. Did this look interesting or what to people? I mean, this one is interesting because the prices are actually still decent. This one, my recommendation is, the streaming said, when I saw the video, it said coming soon, but I've seen reports that it's coming in May of 2021, which makes sense. January, March, May, every 2 months, as one ends, another one begins, so they don't have any lull of a series, and they don't want people dropping their subscriptions even for a month. They want to keep those numbers high. What was really good about that is they showed this was not just a passing thing, that he is heavily involved with the TVA, the Time Variant Authority. These are the guys that police anybody time traveling. So the first appearance, it's a little gray here. The first listed appearance of the Time Variant Authority is in Thor 372. But Bill Justice... No, sorry, 311. I can't even read my writing. I had a pen that was running out of ink. Justice Peace, which I believe is part of the Time Variant Authority, I did not read the series, was in issue number 371. So I think to be on your safe side, and these are all still low-priced books, Thor 370, 371, 372, first appearance of key characters and the Time Variant Authority. You can still pick these books up for under $10 a piece on eBay, ungraded condition, and good, really good grades, under 100. Okay, if this becomes like the Disney Plus or the Loki version of Shield or Sword, we all saw how those books all took off. This has the potential, so this is a good one, and I would say try to get this one now because everybody's looking for a lot of the other ones. They're missing this one. Miss Marvel. There's going to be a Disney Plus series late 2021. So, still next year. It's going to be a live-action series. Everybody's already invested so heavily in these books. If you want to get it, this is, again, wrong time. On this one, I'm saying April. April, they've already got their casting. They'll be filming, but there's going to be so many people lost and so many other things going on here. This is your Remember Me for April. Hawkeye. Now, this is another Disney Plus series for late of 2021. Which one comes first? Remember, they're going to be in 2-month increments. Who knows? May. Hang on a second. We got May. We know that Mandalorian Season 3 will be dropping in October. So we got July, September, and then October, and then December. I don't know how they're going to work it. Anyway, but they did verify that Kate Bishop is going to be in it. We've already seen the what do you call it? The leaked photograph and footage on YouTube. What I really like about this, though, is I think that we should be looking at the first appearance of Lucky the Pizza Dog. I got a feeling he's going to be a fan favorite. Okay, if they utilize him right, he could be the 2021 Baby Yoda. Okay? Or it could be Baby Groot, that they're going to be doing a series on that too, an animated series on that, but no, I'm not seeing that one. She-Hulk, Disney Plus, and again, another coming soon, 2022, we assume. Here's where I think we got a real good chance. Okay? In the She-Hulk, they did announce that they will two characters that will be reprising their roles from the movies. Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, Hulk, and the Abomination from the Incredible Hulk, the same actor. That alone may get the Abomination's first appearance to go up. That's not a cheap book, but it's not an expensive book considering that it is a Silver Age book. We're looking at Tales to Astonish number 90. Okay, now that's going to see a spike right now because of this announcement. Let's wait a couple months. I'll be putting that on my Remember Me, and I'll try to make sure I let you know. But if you see it, if you go through any bins and you find a Tales to Astonish number 90, grab it. Okay, go through your book, see if you've got that one. A lot of people didn't think too much about the Abomination. Moon Knight was nothing really was announced there that we didn't already know. I'm not particularly a Moon Knight fan, but I will keep you up to date on anything I can there. Secret Invasion was very interesting. Now, the stream that I was watching, they were primarily, the people that were running it were primarily Star Wars fans. And they had one guy in there that he was supposedly the Marvel guru. And when they announced it, Secret Invasion is the best, most important comic book series that Marvel has had in the last 20 years. And he chimes up, no, it wasn't. Secret Wars was the best. And I'm like, that was more than 20 years ago, you yuts. Anyway, it was just a little thing that just drove me nuts. How this is going to play out, I don't know. Okay, and what characters are going to be important. You can still get the Secret Invasion books. There's a lot of them out there. A lot of different versions of them. A lot of different variants of them. This is when variants were really starting to hit. So keep your eyes out for something. Go through your collections. You may have the ones that you need. You might want, if you got really good quality ones, get them submitted. Ironheart. I really love seeing this one. Ironheart is going to be on a series on Disney Plus, showing Riri Williams, played by Dominique Thorne, relative unknown. And again, I love when they take these relative unknowns and they make an announcement, and next thing you know, they're blowing up the internet, and they're sitting at home going, oh my God, I'm popular. Yesterday I went to Walmart, now I can't step outside my door. So there was no mention of whether or not Robert Downey Jr. was going to be reprising his voice role for Tony Stark as the AI. I really, really hope they do that. I think that would be wonderful. But we do have confirmation now for our Invincible Iron Man 7s and 9s, first appearance of Riri, first appearance in the armor. And this is it's going to spike again. This one was a big announcement. A lot of people love that. I would hold off on that for the time being. Okay. Armor Wars is going to be another series. Now, Armor Wars was a 8-issue series within the Iron Man series, and it chronicles when Tony Stark's technology gets out and how they have to try to clean up the worldwide mess. It focuses mainly on War Machine, and Don Cheadle will be reprising his role as War Machine for this series. Now, I looked up his first appearance of War Machine, and this is really, really vague, okay, because Rhodey, if you really know Iron Man, you know when Tony went through the bout with alcoholism, and he was a wreck. Rhodey put on the armor, and he went out and did things, and then he did it a second time, and then he got a third set of armor, and at one point they called it War Machine. But it wasn't the first time he was in the armor. So it's really, really vague. It's kind of like Mary Jane Watson's first appearance. Oh, at first I saw a foot, then I saw a leg, and whatever. I think the safest bet here, though, is your earliest part, the first appearance of Rhodey. This may be the one that really spikes up because a lot of people are going to, I don't know what to get except that one. I know they get that one. That one for you is Iron Man number 118. And again, this I've seen 9.0s going under $100 on eBay today. Okay? And that's with a spike. It'll come down a little bit, and I'd wait to see if you can get a 9.6. Stay away from the 9.4s if you can't afford it. That 9.6 is where you really start to, have an easier time flipping the book if you want to, or having pride in the book if you want to keep it, and you don't see the ones behind me disappearing. Okay, now the I Am Groot and Guardians Holiday Special. Yeah, they're both there. I don't care. Sorry. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, they gave a whole list of names, and then the names disappeared, and there was one more. And this one was the one that made me go, yes, America Chavez. I can't even try to pronounce that first name. Xochitl. Miss Gomez will be playing America Chavez. Now, that's the Vengeance #1, if you remember that one. And she also had her first solo series. I happened to pick up a 9.8 of her first solo series November 19th. I got it off of eBay. Slab 9.8, $46. I checked last night. There were 2 confirmed sales at $120. This is a spike. You don't want it now. A lot of people didn't even bother slabbing this book because, what's the point of sending off a book and spending $30 shipping and slabbing when all you're going to do is sell it for $45? There's no, and that's if you have a 9.8. 9.6, you're not even going to get your money back. Now that this book is peaking, a lot of people are going to submit. They're going to be sending off 25 copies of these things and going in for pre-screening. You give this one 3 months, and the market will be so saturated, you can get a copy. Is it going to be so saturated you won't show a return on investment? Absolutely not. Because this is going to be a key character, not only in this movie, but going forward for the Young Avengers. And by doing, at that point, now that book will spike up again, and that will be your return. Reggie Simmons on Reggie Collects, he put something out there that I really, really loved. It is not how much. It's not how much you sell the comic book for that determines whether or not you have a profit. It's how much you buy it for. If you buy a comic at the right price, that's when you know you're going to make a profit. If you overpay because of FOMO, you're going to have to wait forever to try to at least even recoup it or get more. And in that same 2 or 3 years that you waited, how many other books could you have flipped with that same money? So, anyway, Fantastic Four was announced. We all knew that, and that's pretty much all they did was they put the big number 4. So that's going to drive, of course, all Fantastic Four books up and Doom books up, and let's just sit back and watch the blood and the water on that. Now, switching to one other topic was DC. Yes, I had it on the logo on the front, and there was news that I saw on Reggie Collects again, and I love watching his channel, and he got a message from Pretty Fly for a Filipino guy. And I watch every single video of Reggie Collects. If you haven't watched it, you've got to subscribe. He's great, okay? And just check out the books on the wall behind him. A lot of people were speculating on the new Batman, which they said that in today's 2020, they want to be more diverse with Batman. So a lot of people speculated, okay, so they're going to make a person of color is going to be the Batman. Well, who it would make sense? And what they had was, everybody agreed was, Lucius Fox's son, Lucas Fox, should take over the mantle. Now, Dad already knows about everything. He makes all the equipment, blah, 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 blah. So the first appearance of Lucas Fox over the last couple of months has gone boom, straight through the roof. $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, it's going up. Everybody bought into it, and there was a story on the New York Times yesterday, the same day as the Disney, like we don't have more things that we need to blow up our head for, that the new Batman will be Lucius Fox's son, Tim Fox, not Lucas Fox. Apparently, as Reggie said, Lucius gets around. So, I had to pause the video on that one. Stop laughing. The dude's name is Lucius. He's luscious, you know it. So, everybody that had spent $400, $500, $600 even on the Lucas Fox books is now watching their investment drop like a stone, and people that had not bought the Tim Fox book, and that is a Batman book from 1979. I don't remember which issue it was, but just go on eBay and just watch the one that's going through the roof. It had a fair market value of a 9.8 prior to the announcement of $46 for a 9.8. So you can see it really was nothing. It was a nothing book. And as of last night, people were already getting 200 plus 300. So many people were asking buy it now 600. Because if the market is here for Lucas, then the market should be here for Tim. I agree. That's what people are willing to pay. But that's not what we're going to do, right? We're going to wait. We're going to get it as a Remember Me. This storyline is going to drop in January. We don't even know if it's going to be a good storyline. We don't know if it's going to be 3 issues and DC looks and goes, nobody's buying this and everybody hates it. Let's get rid of this character. At which point then we're kind of the way we felt with Dark Winter. Thor number 5. Like, yeah, I got a 9.8. What do you mean the character's dead? And a lot of people got rid of the books, and now you see now Kate is saying that, no, he's not dead yet. I'm going to bring him back. Nobody knows what to do. So that's why it's best to sit back and let everybody else go through the frenzy. Anyway, I hope I broke down some of this information for you. I tried to do it as fast as I could. I still hit 25 minutes. Speaking like a rampage, that's how much information was out there. And again, I have to wrap this up so I can go watch The Mandalorian and make my video on that. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends. You know, when you go to the kitchen, when you're at the hairdresser, just, hey, I was watching this guy on YouTube yesterday. He was crazy. Guys, thank you so much, and you have a wonderful weekend, and I'm out of here.